So here we are in the corner of Clark and Hubbard, a typical day in Chicago. Everybody rushing to work. There's really nothing special going on. Or is there? Let's go inside and listen to the deep, rich, soulful sounds of Nicholas Barron. This is where you work?
Yeah.
I can see, no wonder you write all your original songs. You must really get in the zone here.
Yeah, it's really comfortable and organic.
I think of you as the typical Chicago son. I mean, you've just been here forever. You've been doing your songs, your original songs forever, starting about 20 years ago, actually, on the street. You started street performing.
Yeah, in 1986, I took a trip to Europe and started playing in the subway or the tube in London, and knew that I got the bug, and that's all I wanted to do the rest of my life.
And I know you play around town, so many different clubs, and you really kind of feed off of the feel of a crowd and the energy of the people. You probably got that from the street too.
That stays with you as a street performer, because you know you have to bring it and you have to really put yourself out there, or otherwise people are going to throw money in your case or, you know, be excited about it. So yeah, you have to keep them.
I'm not Superman, I can't fly. I do my best, man, just to get by.
How does one make it as a musician? And I think of all the arts, being a musician is the toughest.
One makes it by, I think, by being a little, I'm not saying I'm a genius, but ingenious in that you find ways and creative ways to make a living. And my way was I started going to every kind of conceivable environment, whether not the typical places that have music, but places that are just really cool spaces, and creating a living kind of out of nothing from scratch.
Yes, and so you have to always be reinventing yourself.
Always reinventing yourself, and yeah, on top of your game, so to speak. Yeah.
I'm a cheap suit seven, and my sing-song opinion, stoned by the help of men who home to the kingdom. I'm not a cartoon cross-hatched in third dimension, a carnival freak crossed out of an invention, quivering, uncertain, erotic, jumpy space. Won't you take me as I am?
Do you feel that you are better in touch with your emotions than most, and that's why you can sort of tap into that and get those emotions on paper or in song?
If you're a troubadour, we're carrying on a tradition. I mean, the songwriters, and we're carrying, you know, we're the ones who talk about what's happening in the culture. It's a responsibility.
Just afraid of what we don't know, and what we don't know can hurt us. We're just playing our show.
I also feel that those who end up being committed day after day, and they just go at it, whether they're successful or not, whether they make it or they don't, and they just keep at it, is because they're driven. They actually, in some ways, don't have a choice, because this fire is in them to communicate and express. And you know, even you do your paintings when you're not singing. I mean, you have to be always expressing yourself. And I think in that sense, you're sort of driven to something.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not like we talk about the choice. You have a choice, and that you don't have a choice. It's sort of a contradiction.
Yeah.
But you don't have a choice if you're a person who, it feels as though if you didn't do it, you wouldn't be you could not be happy being alive. I mean, in the sense that
this is your air.
And I learned this from my father, who's a painter. He has always painted regardless of money, and I always say that he's rich.
You know now, just as it was getting dark, I saw your lightning hit a spark. You made the moon smile at me, and we danced so sweetly.
For someone who has such a blues influence, blues and soul and folk, you sing about really happy things.
You know what? I think that's my thing. I think it's taking something, kind of the juxtaposition, you know, of lyrics that are kind of cathartic and about breaking through pain.
Joy and love.
Yeah, and really the blues is actually, initially it's talking about real stuff, but it's also, it's kind of happy music, as is reggae, and kind of, you know, it's a very simple form, talking about something simple, but I think ultimately it's about, you know, breaking through.
You're making everything all right. You're making everything all right.
I like taking things that are cliche, because I think cliches are cliches for a reason, because they're things that people say all the time or feel, and taking that and kind of breaking that open and using that, but then finding another angle to try to express that. I think that's what an artist does. You know, you take something that's, you know,
yes,
sort of the first dimension, and you try to broaden it. It's really a needed and powerful and important position, to, you know, and privileged in a sense, but to be able to be a songwriter and have your songs put out there.
You make everything all right.
How do you know when something sucks? I mean, do you
How
just
do you know
feel
it's-
it? Do you just feel like, okay, this is not
yeah,
happening?
There's a level. I think you have to have a level of denial. I call it healthy denial. But how do you know when something sucks? Well, that's a really good question. I mean, I think I have a certain standard now where I just know, like I'll think something's great. I mean, every songwriter will tell you this, or every artist. You think something's great, and then you wake up the next morning, or you go to a gig and you play it. You know, you go to you have a show and you play it, and you go, wow, you know, that was flat, or I didn't, and mostly maybe it doesn't feel right.
I'm a good I count.
Okay. I just forgot the words. Perfection is not part of the game. I think we learn to be linear and do the right thing again, be in the cubicle, so to speak, and not don't make any waves. Being an artist is about making waves.
It's all how you look at it and how it looks back. The aspects and angles, the fiction and the facts. I count myself a citizen of this world that's gone mad. I'm gonna fall down, but I'm gonna climb back. You can count on me. You can count on that. You can trust your feelings. I'm a good man.
If you're really open, you basically are influenced by everything and everybody. So it's not like I mean, when I write a song, at this point, I think it just sort of happens in its own process. But along that evolution, you know, might think, oh, you know, what would Thelonious Monk do? You know, what would Jackson Pollock or what? Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? How would he write a song with lyrics? You know.
Man, you know I can't believe her style, the way she shines and moves me.
So this is funny because if I close my eyes, I actually don't think of you as a tall white guy from the suburbs. Where do you get all this soul?
Well, very influenced, obviously, by blues and soul music, of course. But basically, you know, growing up, my mother had a record collection that was mostly black music, whether it was jazz or blues or soul, mixed in with singer-songwriter stuff, which now tends to be kind of my sound, really, in a way. When I heard black music and I heard sort of classic soul and, you know, Al Green and Otis Redding and Sam Cooke and Stevie Wonder, it was just like, it just hit me. And I think at the beginning, you know, it's sort of like you're trying on a hat, so to speak, but then it becomes part of your head or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, it molds to who you are. And it's so much a part of my sound that now it's not something that I think about consciously.
This has been a huge honor for me, actually. I've been wanting to get inside your studio and your head for quite a while, so I thank you for letting me be here.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you.
I wondered if you'd sing me out one more song.
Yeah.
Curving road, so many bumps, and the stages that seem to show that something flows between us. I would say I'm better with you, and you would say it too. You know, now we choose love, we choose us, we choose to ride on the love bus. We choose love, the love, well, it chooses us. Let's get on the love bus.
Whether it's sculpting, painting, cooking, glass blowing, singing, there's an artist and a creative spirit around every corner and in every alleyway. Join me again on Fear No Art Chicago as we go behind the scenes and check out the fascinating and unique world of the independent artist.
For more information, visit fearnoartchicago.com.
Truthfully, you have to be willing to suck to become great, maybe.
You know, and
no
this
one's
is-
great in the beginning or good at what they do.
I think this is one of the reasons that I connect so much to your music then, is because...
Because I suck.
Well,
Yes.
mwah, good, right? Aren't we? All I can tell you is that beiges don't work on me,
Beiges don't work. See, it's already starting, cameraman. I like hugging, but do you not like hugging?
I love it.
Support for Fear No Art Chicago is provided by the Richard H. Driehaus Foundation, the Chicago Fashion Foundation,
Le Cordon Bleu College of Culinary Arts, is dedicated to preparing aspiring professionals in the areas of culinary arts, patisserie and baking, and hospitality and restaurant management.
And Columbia College Chicago, innovation in the visual, performing, media, and communication arts.